sharing 2 different popular types of heat style curls. We're gonna get right into the details, how you can achieve them, which one is best suited for you, and all that fun stuff. But first, I would love if you would consider subscribing if you're new, and let's get started. All right, this first style that we're gonna do is probably best known as the Utah curls. Very, very popular trend right now. It's basically just a curl that's pretty uniform going the whole way down until you get to the bottom, and the last couple inches of your hair are more straight. And I feel like the easiest way to achieve this is just gonna be with a clamp curling iron. This one is from Hot Tools, but you can use whatever you have. I do feel like a 1 inch or a 1.5 inch is probably the best for this. I wouldn't go smaller than 1 inch just for the look that we're trying to achieve. I'm gonna start just by brushing my hair out. I already have heat protectant in my hair. My natural waves, of course, get poofy when I do that, but it's necessary. Then I'm just sectioning my hair off. Now I'm going to show you guys how I do this, but keep in mind there are different ways that you can achieve the actual curl. It's more the ends that are the important part. And I'm definitely not the best at this. I've been getting used to a clamp curling iron, so just keep that in mind. But I'm going to start off with a section about that big. I'm going to curl all of these away from my face. You can do a mixture of away from your face, towards your face, kind of what you want, but this is what I prefer. So I'm gonna open the clamp and start up here at the top, but I'm gonna kind of smooth it over my hair. Then when I get about halfway down, I'm gonna curl up, and then I'm gonna kind of loosen that. Hopefully you can see, I'm kind of pulling on that clamp to get it further down the lengths of my hair, and then I'm gonna curl up again. Like I said, I'm not a pro at this, but I figured out what works for me. And then to release, I'm gonna kind of just unravel it straight down, but keep the end attached in the clamp. Hopefully you can see, and then pull straight down so we get that straight look on the ends. And that's what we're working with before it gets brushed out. It's really kind of up to you how long you want the straight pieces to be at the bottom. Everybody's different. Some people leave like 3 inches. Some people do 1 or 2. I prefer a little less than this, but I just wanted to show you guys really clearly. So for the next piece, let's try to leave a little bit less straight at the ends. I also didn't curl that one quite as close to my scalp as I actually prefer, so I'm gonna go up a little bit further this time. Hopefully you can see how I'm like releasing the hair, just kind of pulsing and pulling, and then unravel it and pull straight down at the bottom. Sorry guys, I'm kind of zoomed in a little close so it's hard to see. There we go. That one doesn't have quite as long of a tail, I guess. So I'm just gonna keep doing it like that all over my head. I have a lot of hair, so it takes me a little bit to get through it, but it's not too bad because this is a fairly easy style to do. So I'm just gonna continue working all over my head, and I'll show you what it looks like. If I didn't already say, this is a 1 inch curling iron. I do think that if I had a 1.5 inch barrel, I would probably use that just because my hair is so long, but this is what I have and it works. So I do use this when I do this style. And I also obviously have a middle part. I use a middle part for both of these just because that's what I prefer on myself. But obviously you can do more of a side part if that's what you prefer on yourself. This is just how I usually style my hair. Before I run my fingers through it, I like to put in a little bit of oil, especially on the ends of my hair, and then I'll rake my fingers through. Honestly, I do this with pretty much every style, whether I'm wearing my hair natural or heat styling it. I just love a good hair oil because it adds shine and like finishes everything off. So I'm gonna use my day one, but you can use what you have. And And especially because the ends are straighter, I don't want them to look dry. Try to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see the full length of my hair. And I just had to wipe the floor up because there was hair everywhere because I shed so much, especially when I style my hair. My hair is so long, it's so hard to show you the ends. Okay, so now who is this style best for? I feel like if you're the type of person who's really into current trends and you just have more of that style, you're probably gonna have a lot of fun with Utah curls because they're obviously very trendy for a reason. I do personally think when it comes to like the physical aspect of it, if you have a longer hair, I think it's gonna be the most flattering on you. Not to say that you can't do it if you have short hair. It's just that there's more length, so there's plenty of room for the curled parts and then the straightened ends without it looking choppy or anything. But if you have a lower hair density, just meaning that you have less hair and it's not as thick, sometimes this can actually make your hair look a little bit thinner because since your ends are straight, they can sometimes look a little bit stringy, and that can kind of defeat the purpose of the volume that the curls are supposed to be adding. So that's just my personal recommendation in my opinion. I think if you have a little bit longer hair and also if it's not super fine or thin, it's probably gonna look the best on you, but that doesn't mean you can't do it no matter what your hair type is. If it's something that you feel like fits your style, then go for it. I think it can be a lot of fun to like play with trends and everything. But yeah, those are my Utah girl curls. All right, so out of the two, this style is definitely gonna take longer. It's just more time consuming because we're gonna be using rollers, but I'm still gonna use the same curling iron because it's what I have and it works. So even though this is a 1-inch, the curls will end up looking more like the roller size. But of course you can use a bigger curler too that like matches the rollers more. This works fine, so it's what I do. Just get that heating up, and then to detangle, since my hair is pretty crazy today, I washed it last night and kind of had it in a bun during the night for part of the time, so it's a little crazy. I'm just going to use some of my Kristen S leave-in conditioner. This is super lightweight and I have no issues at all putting it on dry hair. And again, I already put heat protectant in my hair. For both of these styles, I just used the JVN blowout milk. I've been testing that one out and I'm gonna share more about my thoughts in an upcoming video. Again, just sectioning my hair off. I'm gonna be doing this with slightly bigger sections because I don't have enough rollers, and then also it just makes it take less time. And you don't have to have a clamp curling iron for this. You can totally just use a wand, whatever you have. You could even use a straightener to get loose curls and then put them in rollers. But I just find that a curling iron gives me like the bounciest, most voluminous curls. So that's what I do. I just do kind of the same method, but this time I don't leave the ends out. I definitely curl the whole way down. And I am gonna use a mix of these. I'm not going in like a super particular order, but I'm gonna try to use the smaller rollers more on the underneath parts of my hair. Just brushing through. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'm just starting at the bottom and rolling up underneath. This is just what I do usually for roller curls because I like the look best when it's kind of more towards my face versus away. And the reason I'm focusing the smaller ones on the underneath parts of my hair is just because I don't have a ton of rollers and I want the top of my hair to be big, bouncy curls and not too tight. And also guys, I'm really sorry if you hear like yelling in the background. My husband and his brother are outside and they're like right outside this bathroom window, and so the sound is just traveling and I can hear them. So apologies if you hear. They're just like loud talkers, honestly. They're not even fighting or anything, they just talk loud. I'll go over it one more time, slowly, kind of step by step, and then I'll do most of my hair off camera or sped up, and then I'll update you guys. So once I curl that piece, I just brush through. Make sure it's warm. You want to move quickly here so your hair stays warm and it really sets in that curl. And then I kind of just like pull the curling iron down till I get to the bottom. Sorry, not curling iron, the roller. It's very hard for me to do this and explain it at the same time. I tightly roll it up. And I have just a lot of like stray hairs with this. I simply do. Once I take everything out, it doesn't look crazy or frizzy. I brush through my hair, I put an oil in, I get really good results. But when I put them in the rollers and just initially, you can see I have a lot of these like shorter hairs that don't want to stay in the roller, and I just have like all these flyaways around my head. So it's gonna look a little bit crazy before it looks good. Maybe I'll go over it again one more time closer to the end, because I feel like I'm not explaining this very clearly. I'm all over the place in my head right now because of the noise outside. It's like really distracting me, and I'm trying to like focus. So apologies, because this part of the video is probably a little bit more chaotic, but bear with me here. Clearly I'm looking crazy at this point, but we're making progress. Okay, so again, I feel like I didn't explain this very well earlier because I was trying to rush and I was distracted, but once I take out the curl, obviously, like I said, I brush it out. And then to put the roller in, oh, that is some hot hair. I kind of like start a little bit up from the end and then like pull it down. I cannot do this in frame and do a good job, so sorry about that. It's gonna not look the best, but I just pulled it down to the end and then rolled up. Here we have arrived to the last section. This is always kind of hard for me when I leave it till the end because I have like all these curlers around the front pieces. I brush it up to smooth it out, and then I'm just gonna take my curler and curl this away from my face. This part is hard because I have like bangs, and that's not the only thing that's going into this roller, so there's shorter pieces, but I do my best. Sometimes I actually will do this top part in 2 sections and just roll it back on both sides. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about it. Obviously, if you have less hair or shorter hair than me, this is not going to be nearly such a big ordeal. And I do find that when I'm just doing it myself and I'm not filming it, it's definitely a lot easier. And I'm not trying to explain it to somebody too. So I'm just going to leave this in for like 15 minutes usually about. I'll hairspray it and then let it completely set, and then I'll take them out. I'll be back in like 15 minutes or so. Okay, we're gonna brush it all out and add oil, and that's really gonna bring it all together. Again, just my Day Prickly Pear hair oil. So with this style, I just get a lot more natural, fluffy volume. Not so much from the curls, but just the technique and then hairspraying that in place. And if you use the right prep cream, now obviously for this kind of 90s style, it's gonna make your hair look a lot fluffier and bouncier. So I do think it's gonna be more flattering than the other style if you want to look like you have, you know, volume and a lot of hair. I also think a blowout looks amazing on shorter hair, especially if you have some layering going on. There's just something about the way that it falls and how it curls in all the right places that makes your hair look so full and fluffy and just beautiful. So I do think it's really well suited for like a short to medium length hair. If you have less hair, it's gonna give you crazy volume. Because I have a lot of hair, my roots are still, you know, a little bit flatter because I don't have a ton of layers in my hair. But if you have shorter hair, you're just gonna have like the biggest, most beautiful, voluminous hair. Now, obviously I have longer hair, but I actually personally prefer the kind of like 90s supermodel curls on myself compared to the other style. Although I do both depending on the day and how much time I have, and I like both, but this is just like my personal preference. But that's not to say I don't like the other one, because I do like the look of it. I like trendy things and I tend to follow along with them to an extent, but I do think if you're more into classic looks, you'll probably feel more comfortable and effortless in a blowout. Although it is kind of a trend in a way because it's really popular right now, I just think it looks really timeless and elegant. Both styles are beautiful in their own way. I just wanted to share my thoughts. Anyways, I really hope I didn't miss anything with this. I tried to take notes. I really hope that this video was enjoyable for you. Maybe it helped you out in some way. It was really fun for me to do, and when I had this idea, I got kind of excited because I feel like I don't really do like trendy videos usually, but definitely let me know if you want to see me do more videos on trends or anything like that. If you're new, I'd love if you'd stick around and consider subscribing. I do lots of hair content and some beauty and lifestyle on this channel, so I'd love to have you. But that is going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you back here next time.